It's the Monday before a big Apple event, so needless to say, the tech buzz is all about iPhone. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and yes, we will have a ton of iPhone 4S or iPhone 5, whatever it's called, content. Be sure to check out PhoneDog.com starting at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. We'll have a live blog going, some content right after the event, some polls and more. And you can also bookmark the page pdog.ws/iPhone 5 coverage. That's where you can find everything in one spot. It just groups it all together and it's super easy to read. But let's talk about it because the rumors are going crazy as they always do one day before Tim Cook takes the stage to announce the next iPhone or the next series of iPhones. First of all, we're stuck between this iPhone 4S and iPhone 5 name. What's it going to be called? We still don't really know, but one thing I will say is for sure, the 4S name is popping up a lot more than it did before. We hear 5, and there's a couple of rumors going around that 5 is going to be a Sprint exclusive, 4S will be AT&T and Verizon. Again, don't really know, but what I will say is we've seen 4S pop up in a bunch of different places that we haven't before. We're hearing it more often. We've seen some case stuff with iPhone 4S written on it. And the rumors just seem to be pointing in that direction. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the iPhone 4S is what it's going to be called. There will be a design upgrade, or at least a minor design upgrade or downgrade, depending on how you look at it. If you look at those designs, you may love them, you may hate them. I think there's a point which you can get too thin, and actually Taylor does too, so be sure to check out his article on PhoneDog.com. It's posted right now, and he thinks, if you go too thin, there's a point where it just gets too thin and hard to hold, and it doesn't give a premium feel like it does right now. So check that out. I would agree with him there. But I want to tell you a little bit about my thing, the top 5 things I'd like to see in the next iPhone. First of all, I'd like to see a dual-core processor, or at least a faster processor in the device. We look at today's Android phones, we're seeing dual-core everywhere. It'd be nice to see it in Apple's flagship device. Second of all, I'd like to see a bigger screen. 3.5 inches is kind of in a decent little sweet spot, but in comparison to these 4.5 2-inch displays, like the Epic 4G Touch, and some of the other devices on the market, 3.5 inches is a little bit too small. I'd like to see something bigger on that front. Third, a better camera, 8-megapixel camera, continuing on in Apple's tradition with HDR and some of the cool features like that, but 8-megapixel camera, maybe a better front-facing camera as well for FaceTime quality. Number 4, a different design, but not the design that we're seeing. You've seen those mock-ups, courtesy of This Is My Next and a couple of other sites. You've seen this really thin iPod-looking device. I don't really like it. You may like it. Of course, design's always subjective. I don't care for it. I think it'll be hard to hold in the hand. And I think that there's a point, like Taylor says, where you get to a certain size and it doesn't exude a premium feel. So it may be a metal back, but still, if you're going to have trouble holding it in the hand, it's not really a good phone if you walk out of the store and you drop it. That's a problem, right? Right. And number 5, for me at least, I hope they continue with the excellent battery life. iOS has always done a great job with battery life. I have 72 phones, actually not on this bookshelf right here, but I do have a bunch of phones on my desk in my various offices, and iOS still continues to do a great job with battery life. It's something that Android needs to work on. It's something that they do a pretty decent job of, so my hope is that they'll continue to modify the battery to kind of go with the dual-core processor or any of these processor or performance enhancements so we don't deal with a hit on the battery front. That's my prediction, or at least that's what I'd like to see in the next iPhone. Again, be sure to check out PhoneDog.com starting tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern as we start our iPhone 5 or iPhone 4S or both coverage. Bookmark the page pdog.ws/iPhone 5 coverage, and I'll see you there. Get excited, less than 24 hours until we know what the next name of the iPhone is going to be. See you guys then. Take care.